Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody is doing well. Been spending a lot of time really trying to wrap my head around a lot of the things that are happening with Web3 right now. So, the whole acronym soup of NFTs and DAOs and Web3 itself. And there is a ton of stuff going on out there right now. And if we look at the NFT space, and you might have tripped across the acronym NFT, somewhere on Twitter or somewhere else, or you might have seen it in the news or heard someone talking about it. Um, it is a really interesting story. The story kind of goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a technology and it took a great leap forward, and it birthed a number of things. It birthed an economy, it birthed a community and a currency and a museum and an all-night rave and a rabbit hole, kind of all at once. And it is so new and it's so ascendant right now that it's almost obnoxious to try and categorize it. And it is changing rapidly, literally daily, literally hourly. And this is one of those things where, everything that I talk about over, the next couple of minutes here, doing so with the huge, huge, huge caveat that when this becomes wrong, when sections of what I'm about to talk through become incorrect, and they inevitably will, I will update it. So let's talk about a couple of things. So first is just sort of the big question. WTF is happening? You've got folks like Steph Curry. You may have seen a story that he spent the equivalent of about $180,000 to purchase a cartoon monkey JPEG. And there are other NFTs that are being sold for millions and millions of dollars. And folks are trying to explain it, and coming back with photos of cartoon cats. And so going to start with sort of the scale and scope of this thing. There's a site out there called OpenSea.io. Currently, there are over 40 million NFT items that are listed on OpenSea. And you can think of OpenSea kind of sort of like an eBay for NFTs. You can buy them, you can sell them, you can look at them, you can trade them. All of those types of things are happening on OpenSea right now. And so, let's think about this for a second. When you look at OpenSea, it's a big collection of JPEGs for the most part. There are a couple other things out there too. There's some music bits and some videos, but let's just wait a damn minute. And want to give huge hat tip out to Lovey, who introduced me to DAMB as the far, far superior way to communicate this concept. When we look at what is out there, when we look at what Steph Curry and lots of other folks have purchased, they kind of look like JPEGs. And so, Carfy, you're telling me that Steph Curry paid 180 grand for a JPEG? Yes and no. There is a fair amount of stuff happening below the surface. So let's kind of take a step back and let's go to the source of what's happening right now. So let's just start with what is an NFT. So NFT stands for non-fungible token. And what that means, and when you hear the phrase non-fungible, what that means is because every NFT is unique and it can't be swapped for an identical thing the way, say, a dollar bill can, that makes it non-fungible. So all dollars are effectively the same, and you can, trade one for another and effectively have the same sort of thing that makes them fungible. Contrast this to NFTs, which by definition are non-fungible. You can't exchange one for an identical one because there are no identical ones. They are provably unique online tokens. And what that means is there is an entry in a distributed cryptographic ledger that spans the web and the world right now. And every NFT has a unique instance on that. They are unforgeable, so they can't be forged, they can't be counterfeited, they can't be duplicated. They are uniquely identifiable. Why? Math. There is, deep, deep, deep provable mathematical ways to ensure that these can't be forged, can't be double used, and those types of things. And the interesting thing is these NFTs can be linked to an asset. So they can be connected to any sort of digital asset. They can be attached to images or music or online documents. Any of those things can have an NFT attached to them. So in a way, you can think about an NFT as being a certificate of authenticity that can be attached to an online asset. So if you have an NFT, what you have is a provable way to show that you own that NFT, and it's probably connected to something like an image, a JPEG, if you will. So, okay, great, fine, it's authentic, but at the end of the day, it still kind of looks like a JPEG. So, let's again take a little bit of a step back, but wait, there's more. It's more than just the JPEG. It's more than just the image. When you think about NFTs, and if you go and you explore something like OpenSea, they're frequently grouped into collections. So this is a collection that's on OpenSea right now called Cool Cats. And if you think and see enough of those, they're all kind of variations on the same theme. The buzz phrase you may hear is, they are generative art. There were some base traits that are similar, but lots of other things get sort of generated. With the Cool Cats, it's the hats and the glasses and things on their face and their accessories and such. And they kind of almost become memes in a way. These are things that are shared and used and are propagating out through the sort of digital sphere and digital population. And if you are looking at these things, if you have one of these things, you have a cryptographic wallet, and that wallet is usually accessed either through a browser extension or a mobile app. So, for example, if you went on and you wanted to purchase a Cool Cat off of OpenSea, if you clicked on the Buy Now button, what would happen is you'd click on that, it would take you forward and it would open up your wallet, which again, in this case, is a browser extension. When you were trying to purchase that, the wallet would verify and ask you to, click a couple of things, caveat, make sure you know what you're clicking on, just like anything else, if you're doing a banking transaction or the like. But you click on a couple of things to approve. And what happens is something goes out of your wallet. In this case, it's usually a cryptocurrency like Ether or the like. And that NFT goes from being listed on OpenSea to being in your wallet. And your wallet is really kind of a double duty sort of thing. On one hand, it's sort of kind of your gallery of the NFTs that you have in your collection. But the fact that you have that NFT also lets you, in many cases, get access to a number of member perks as well. So when we look at NFTs, there are a bunch of different use cases, and we'll get back to the member perk side of things in a minute. Some folks are acquiring these things and they're basically, day trading them. That's what they are doing. Other folks are getting them and holding them, and they are really thinking about them as a long-term investment. The place where, at least for me, it gets really, really, really interesting is, in addition to those very transactional types of things, for me, the really interesting part of the space is others are becoming part of a community who are participating in a shared online experience around NFTs. So if you zoom way out, there are tens or hundreds of thousands of folks around the world right now who have acquired NFTs. And in some ways, folks are sort of part of a loose community of other folks who have acquired at least one NFT and are starting to sort of think about this space. And you're starting to see this become put forth in things like on Twitter. More and more folks are starting to change their Twitter avatars from what their headshot was, the same thing like their LinkedIn profile, into what the JPEG of their NFT is. In the buzz phrase, folks are referring to these as PFPs, or profile pics instead of avatars. Don't really know why that's happening, but it is. But if you go on Twitter and you start looking around, you're going to see more and more folks who are changing their avatars to one of the NFTs that they might hold in their collection, and it's sort of saying, "Hey, I'm really interested in this project, or I'm really interested in these people, or I'm really interested in this group." And so there can be community in general in being an owner of any NFT. And oftentimes there's even a deeper connection with others who are holding NFTs from and supporting the same project. So there's a project out there called Bored Ape Yacht Club, or BAYC. You may see it um, abbreviated like that. So there are a lot of folks who have Bored Apes as their profile pics. There's another project out there called World of Women, and there are a lot of folks who are changing their profile pics to the World of Women avatar or image that they have that's associated with the NFT that they own from World of Women. Actually going to dive into that project a little bit, because there are a whole bunch of different aspects. And disclosure, do have one of these NFTs from World of Women. The interesting thing is, when, at least for me, as I was starting to learn about this, the first thing that I was exposed to were the JPEGs, the images, what folks usually refer to as the NFTs themselves. But as you sort of dig deeper and peel the onion a little bit, these projects often have not just the art and the NFTs and JPEGs. There is a website for them, and you can go there and learn more about the project. If you go to one of the marketplaces like OpenSea, there's another one out there called Rarible as well, where one can buy or sell NFTs. There is a point of presence for this project as well. If you go on Twitter, again, not only do the individuals often who are holding these NFTs often change their profile pics to their NFT, but additionally, the project itself has a presence on Twitter. A lot of the really interesting heat around these projects is happening in online chat rooms that are usually hosted on a Discord server or in a Telegram stream. And some of them are even starting to have real life meetups and events and get-togethers where people who have an NFT from a project actually are getting together to have dinner, or have a drink, or the like. So there is this whole opportunity on a lot of these projects to get involved in some of the community aspects of what's happening as well. And so in addition to the JPEG, there are all of these other things that have aspects to them as well that these projects are using and tapping into. So in many cases, and for many of these NFT projects and NFT communities, if you hold one of their NFTs, you have a golden ticket to things that are only available to that particular group of NFT holders. So if we look at something like Bored Ape Yacht Club, there are things you can do. You go to the website, so you can click on buy an ape. They're all sold out. You can look at the roadmap. So as a project, a lot of these NFT projects are publishing what their aspirational things they are going to do over the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months or so. Oftentimes they will share who the team is behind the art, behind the project, behind sort of wrangling the community. And you can also, in some cases, dig a little bit deeper. So on Bored Ape Yacht Club, for example, if you go through their site, you've got sort of the background on the project. There were 10,000 of these NFTs created, how they were originally sort of published and distributed. The initial sale of these sold out fairly quickly, but of course they're linking over onto you can think of it as the secondary market over on OpenSea. The interesting stuff comes in that if you're in the club, you start getting some of these things down here. So if you're in the club, there are 10,000 provably rare NFTs out there. They launched. You get rights, or some rights, to use that JPEG yourself if you own it. This is a very interesting one, the bathroom. So on the Bored Ape Yacht Club website, there is a private space on the website, and through some underlying technology that's been set up, the website can check to see if you have a Bored Ape in your wallet, and if you do, then you get access to that area. And then over time, they are offering additional benefits as well. So if you go on that site and you click on the members area, there are a whole bunch of different things. So there is the Bored Ape Kennel Club. So members who had a Bored Ape also got a dog, NFT companion for them. You can get Bored Ape merchandise, and that's the normal swag of hoodies and t-shirts and those types of things. And then the aforementioned bathroom, which again is a digital graffiti wall. Looking at another project, World of Women, if you go to their website, they've got background on the project. The project website lays out what all of the different perks of ownership are. So there are some things where royalties are used and distributed among the project and by holders of some of these NFTs. Some of them you were able to get really high quality prints for those, and there are certain other types of kind of club-like features that are there. One of the interesting things that World of Women did was, as they were selling these originally, the money that came in from the initial sale was actually being used in part to support a number of different causes around the world. And as part of their roadmap, what they said was, okay, at 10% of sales, we are going to ship, prints of the NFTs to some of the folks. At 20%, charity and cause number one got something. At 40%, charity and cause number two got something. At 60%, charity and cause number three got something. They're also doing things like putting money into a fund where they could support and purchase art purchase NFTs for their projects. And so trying to support really the whole community of NFT artists that were aligned with them. And so it's very interesting that there's all of these deeper things that are happening sort of behind the scenes, more than just the JPEG itself. So, when we see things like, okay, Steph Curry, jumps into NFTs with $180,000 purchase of Bored Ape digital artwork, there are a number of things happening on. Yes, you're getting the JPEG, you're getting the NFT art itself, but you're also in some cases getting a number of benefits by holding that membership card, if you will, in that group. And then in a number of projects, there is this really significant community aspect. So I've seen that a lot around World of Women, seen it around Bored Apes. I've seen it, there's one called Dead Fellas. Again, disclosure, I have one of those, actually have it as my profile pic right now, where there's just really interest and excitement around that project. And by having one of these NFTs, you also are getting sort of membership, if you will, into that particular community. So couple of things you can do if you do want to learn more. So number one, go to one of the NFT marketplaces. You don't have to spend anything, don't have to do anything, but just kind of poke around. Poke around on OpenSea, poke around on Rarible, and just see some of the projects that are out there. I know they usually have sort of a leaderboard of what the quote hot projects are, for the day or the week or the month. Those are ones where there's probably a lot of activity going on around those. You can go to some of the websites of some of the projects that are out there. You can just poke around on Twitter. If you search the NFT hashtag just by itself, you're going to find a ton of conversation. And again, as you start sort of seeing the patterns of different folks who have different profile pics from various projects, that will start to make a little bit more sense. And then if you want to go really deep into sort of the torrent that is the conversation stream around a lot of these projects, typically you can go to their project Discord, which is usually linked from the project website. Get yourself in there and see all the different conversations that are going on around the projects. I do have two requests. So A, thank you for hanging out for a bit. If you could share and follow on Twitter, this stream should be up there hopefully in a couple of minutes. Additionally, I set up a mailing list at bit.ly/NFTWTF-CC. So bit.ly.com/NFTWTF-CC. And I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of other streams like this. I'll be doing this particular one a couple of more times over the next couple of weeks. So if there are family, friends, acquaintances, other folk who think might get value out of this, sign up on the mailing list, and I'll push out when I'm going to be doing the stream again. So if folks want to jump on, of course, you can ask questions over on Twitter, and I'll be jumping on those as well. And thanks for taking the time. Super appreciate it. Again, good morning, and I hope everybody has a great day.